everyone. So the question is, was our kit bashed Borderlands rifle hack print work? And what we'll do is we'll take a look at that and see if it fits like a glove, or if we're going to have to go back to the drawing board in Tinkercad and make some adjustments. So with that, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a review. And here, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. There it is. That's the one that we ended up doing. So that is the print of the rifle that we did, and it came out pretty good. Got some, I like it. But again, what we ended up seeing was on this side here is that there's no kind of graphic, and there's a graphic on the other side, and it actually looks kind of cool. So yeah, what we ended up doing, taking, well, this one shows the graphic. You can see that little circle diagram there, and that's what we have on this side. But on the other side, it's just like a blank, there's nothing there. So what we ended up doing is taking that individual piece from this, and so when we downloaded the files, what we ended up doing is taking, which one was it? Which one? It was the one that had the piece on it. I think that's it right there. But we took that and we brought it into Tinkercad, and after we sliced it up on Creality Print to get rid of the majority of the stuff there, and you can actually end up seeing that. So yeah, we basically took this piece and cut it up in Creality Print with the slicer to kind of get that piece, because the piece in and of itself was too much. It was too big of a file for Tinkercad. So we cut it up in the slicer program, and we came up with that, and then we ended up kind of bringing it in here and getting kind of basically that. So this is the end result, and it should fit the form of the piece that we want, so we can put it onto the other side. So yeah, I think it worked out kind of good. So then what we ended up doing is throwing it into Creality Print, and let's go ahead and take a look at that. So in Creality Print, there it was, and we printed that out, and if we take a look at our device, we can see that, yeah, it finished up. And yeah, so that means it is time to take a look at the print. So let's go ahead, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Remember, we had to shave off that 4 millimeters off of that, and we'll see if this ends up working. So there it is, K2 Plus in all its glory, and that came off easy. Maybe I need to clean my build plate one of these days. But that is the print. And we took off the little lip that was sticking out down here at the bottom, that was sticking out about 4 millimeters. And so we did that and reprinted it. And you can see a little bit of difference. Let's get this. Boom. Supports are done. And what we end up seeing here is a little bit of difference. I cut with an X-Acto knife or a razor blade that little piece off of there, so we could have done that, but wanted to play in Tinkercad and see if this ended up working. And the final reveal, as I have stuff falling, we've got that piece there, and now with the piece that we kit bashed on the other side, that is going to fit really, really well. Of course, now the camera wants to play games and everything, so we'll do it this way. So there is the piece, and that will fit just like that. And we've got, you can actually see that there. That turned out really well. So we were able to kit bash this thing, and we'll be able to glue this in place, and that way we've got the little graphic on this side, and then we also have it on this side as well. Again, it's just a vast expanse of nothing, and I think by adding this little piece in here, even though it's the same on the other side, it'll give a little bit more character, and it won't be as as blasé as what it was before. So again, we did this one. So let's see if the one where we just kind of cut off, and if that fits as well, which actually, that works out pretty well. A little bit. I'd have to trim off a little bit, but for the most part, that turned out good as well. So, but I think what we'll end up doing is we'll stick with this piece here, and we'll go ahead and set this down, and we'll just kind of do this. We'll go ahead. We need some super glue. Definitely need some super glue, so let me go grab that. And the great thing about kit bashing all this stuff is you can really make models. You know, heck, we could, you could put 2 on there if you wanted. But the cool thing is you can take models and different parts, either in Tinkercad or from other models, and you could kit bash your cosplay stuff. So what we'll end up doing, I'll just go ahead and we'll throw on some of this here, and like that. We should be good to go. I'll just leave that there, and we'll make sure that it's flush and center. And boom, we are good. So that is going to turn out pretty good. So with that said, that's a total of 38 inches long, and we need to prime it and paint it, but that is going to turn out good. Again, that's going to work out really well and go well with the rest of our Ripper cosplay that we're going to be using this Halloween. So yeah, the K2 Plus once again did a great job. Really enjoying that. And hopefully, my thought is that Creality will be releasing another machine soon. And so when they do release another machine, that'll bring down the prices of the K2 Plus. So, but how long is it going to be before Creality releases another machine? Haven't heard any rumors, been scouring the interwebs and things like that, and haven't seen anything, but with Bamboo doing their multi-head system and their Vortex system that they have coming out, and then, what is the other one? IDEX and Prusa, I think, are coming out with a system, with the multi-material or the multi-head system. So again, there's not going to be a ton of poo wasted out of your machine. I'm wondering if Creality is going to jump onto that. We don't know. But if they do, yeah, so what is it? The Snapmaker UI that is going to be doing theirs, that's popping up really soon. And that's going to be released real quick here, I think. So a lot of stuff for multi-material printing. But with that, if Creality jumps on board with that, that will also bring down the price of the Creality K2 Plus. Which, by the way, I remember people were, yelling and screaming, oh, the tariff wars. Everybody's going to, it's going to price us out of the market. And 3D printing is going to be terrible. Creality K2 Plus. We'll just kind of do a quick little K2 Plus check and see how much that is. K2 Plus, their K2 Pro is out, so that's a possibility. So let's see, the K2 Plus, I don't want all of this stuff. We just want the K2 Plus and see what that looks like. K2 Plus combo that comes with the machine, and their CFS system comes out to $1,300. It used to be $1,500, and now it's $1,300. And then if we just get the K2 by itself, K2 Plus printer by itself, that is $1,000. well, it's like $1,100, $1,099. So $1,100, $200 off of the previous price. So it seems like the tariff war is not really a big thing these days. So yeah, let's kind of take a look at that and we'll see how all this fares. So there it is. And we end up having the K2 Plus without the CFS, that's $1,100, $200 savings. And if you do the combo printer, again, we're looking at $1,300, drop $200 from that price. So that's less than what I paid. So yeah, if another system comes out, the K2 Plus is going to go down even more, which is going to be pretty amazing. So yeah, it just depends on what comes out. The Vortex system from Bamboo is going to come out, but the Bamboo H2S is another system that kind of looking at, which is a large format scale printer. Some say it's a little bit over-engineered. Some people have had problems, but for the most part, it's been a really good machine. And again, larger build area, the high quality that Bamboo is known for. Of course, their locked-in ecosystem and whatever. But their H2S is $1,500 with just the system. Nope, that's with a AMS combo. So that's about paid for my K2 Plus. So for those people that were kind of looking for, basically wanted was a large scale Bamboo. So that's $1,500 for the machine and the AMS. But if you just got the H2S by itself, that ends up being, $1,250. So it could be that one of these days, that could be a benefit to Creality, but I'm not sure. So again, lots of different options. Again, looking for another printer. So maybe it'll be the H2S. Maybe it'll be another K2 Plus, because with the one that I have now, since I have replacement parts and stuff like that, the K2 Plus, if I had two of those, it's easier to get parts. And again, a little bit less expensive, really waiting for Creality to come out with a new machine, just like all the other companies are going to come out with a new machine. But I did think it was a little disingenuous for Bamboo to come out with their H2D with the two nozzles, the super expensive one, and then everybody bought it. I knew that the H2S was coming out. Well, I didn't know that the H2S was going to come out. I knew that there would be another printer that was less expensive, didn't have two heads on there. I knew Bamboo was going to come out with that. That I knew, because they've done that in the past and people got mad, was it the A1 and the A1 Mini, and it's like, what did you do, but that's kind of how Bamboo rolls. And that's kind of like what Creality did with the K2 Plus. That was a high-end item, and now they came out with the K2 Pro. Let's take a look at that. Creality K2 Pro, which is K2 Pro Combo, which pops in as soon as it gets up here. Now we want the K2 Pro Combo. And that comes out to $1,000, $1,050 for the K2 Pro Combo. So let's take a look at that baby there. So there it is. That's the K2 Pro Combo. Again, $1,050, 300 cube build area, and you get the CFS and the machine. So you got to think that the K2 Plus is 350 cubed, and this is only 300. So yeah, that could be a good thing right there. So, but if you just get the K2 Pro by itself, you're looking at $850 for that, which is kind of cool. But if they come out with another machine a little bit later on down the road, everything else, these older machines are going to drop in price. So, But my question is, with the K2 Pro, does it have the same hot end as the K2 Plus? So I'm not sure. Auto leveling, all that stuff, that would be kind of interesting. Extruder, which kind of looks like the same that we had with the K2 Plus. You got your 2 screws there for the hot end. You got your direct drive. We got all that, blah, blah, blah. It almost looks like it has the same thing as the K2 Plus. So I'm wondering if that hot end is the same. I'd be interested in finding out, because then that would be something I would be interested in. And especially at the price of only, what was it, $850? For a 300 by 300 build volume. Yeah, that could be the way to go. So I don't know, lots of different options to look at with the printers that are coming out onto the market. Yeah, just let's see, what else do we got? K2 Plus, the Pro and the Plus. And the Plus ends up, that's 350 by 350 build area by 350 cubed. And that is $1,000. It used to be $1,300, but now it's $1,100. So no, that's the K2 Plus. What am I? There's the Pro and the what's the other one? The Pro and the K2 combo. That's it, the K2 combo. So the Pro and the K2 are the new ones. And that is, what's the build area on that? Yeah, direct drive extruder, blah, 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 20,600 max speed. Yeah, we get all that. Build plate detection, spaghetti detection. I still haven't got that to work on mine. Not that I've had like 1 or 2 different failures, but the K2 combo is, what does that come out to be? That's $699. Wow. So, but what is the build plate area? That's what I want to know. Let's take a look at this and we'll see. So there is the K2 combo, powerhouse sturdy, 260 cube build volume. So it's a little bit better than the bamboo, but it's 260 cube, so it's a little bit smaller. But then again, the price on that is $699, so $700. So really that extra, little difference between the K2 Pro and this K2, I don't know if that's something, I don't know, it kind of depends on what you want. But you got a lot of different flavors and multicolor experience, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if that's a filament dryer and a feeder. AMS, print out of the box, yes, we know that. I think that's the same, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, got some good stuff here. K2 Pro. 300 milliliter, 300 cube, which is nice. I think that would be a good one to get, but it's still like $1,000. But if you just got the printer itself, that's $850, which that could work. I'm just wondering if the hot end is the same as the K2 Plus, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Still gonna kind of wait a little bit and see what comes out onto the horizon. I'm not a real big multi-material color printing person as of yet. So just kind of doing cosplay stuff. So if I use the CFS, it's usually not for multi-material, but just for, spool runs out, it automatically goes to the next one. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So we're able to do the